Hello, faith leaders, and welcome to Breaktime. Today's proverb is 31:19. In her hand, she holds the distaff and grasps the spindle with her fingers. If you remember, she went and bought the stuff that was needed for her to continue to make what needed to be made. But isn't it interesting? This passage said, well, what'd she do? She made it. You know, it's one thing, and I sit here sometimes and think about all the things that I can do. And sometimes I even buy all the books I'm supposed to read. And, you know, sometimes what can happen is we can have all the material necessary for us to make what we need to make or do what we need to do. And yet it sits there. We don't utilize, we don't bring into production, we don't materialize, we don't create what is already there for us to create. Isn't that sad? I've done this before. How many of you have ever done this? Went and bought the necessary things to make something, brought it home, and it just sits. Well, this woman did a little bit more than that. Now, remember, this woman is not to make us feel guilty. It's just to point a little bit of light into some areas and give us some encouragement and empowerment to continue on. And what she did was, she was so industrious. She used not only, she used every single part of herself to bring into production, to create what needed to be done. Isn't that amazing? It wasn't, I love it because you don't see her sitting by passively too much, or sitting by thinking, or sitting in meetings discussing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with any of those things. You see her being active. You see in her being executing the things that need to be executed. And sometimes we can talk too much about what needs to be done instead of putting it together and actually creating and executing what needs to be done. So I think the challenge for me and for you is, are we executors, or do we just sit around and talk about what needs to be done or be executed? Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with the planning, because that's a couple more passages away. It's great to plan, but it's a whole nother thing to put into action what needs to be done. You know, sometimes, even, I don't know what kind of job you have, but look around your workplace. Is there something that you need to be productive in that's just been sitting there, lying there, waiting for somebody to materialize it and to bring it into action, to create something? You know, could this be just the encouragement that you need to hear to say, go, do it? You know, that's what I keep hearing this woman say. Get up. Let's be active. We're so influential. We're so creative. We're so industrious. We're so influential. That's who we are. That's who she's screaming at us to be. Have a blessed day.